Welcome to Cash Talk, the podcast where we delve into the depths of finance, business, and life itself. I'm your host, John Cachia, a multi-award-winning wealth advisor with a passion for empowering ambitious Australians to confidently achieve financial freedom. Hey everyone, before we get started, this is a quick reminder that everything in this podcast is of a general nature and nothing has been tailored to your personal circumstances. So please seek personal financial advice before acting on this information.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cash Talk. Today I'm joined by the boss's boss, Burcu. How are you going?
I'm good, JK. How are you?
Good, thank you. So obviously a bit of a different sort of podcast episode today. So just obviously getting to know you a bit better and a little bit about you and John as well too, and sort of the John's life a little bit too outside of work as well.
Awesome.
So let's start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about how you and John sort of first met.
How we met. We were very, very young. I was 19, he was 22, and we were at Sunday drinks at the Anglers. Cool. And he approached me and wanted to dance. And then it followed on to going out and having some dinner at McDonald's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was
Awesome.
it was pretty funny, but it was a good night.
Yeah, awesome. And did the next sort of date come quickly from there, or?
Well, he did lose my number.
Oh, okay.
And so we didn't speak for a few weeks and then bumped into each other again.
Yeah. Nice. There you go. Awesome. Awesome. And so you mentioned you were both quite young at the time. Who were you at the time? And I guess at that time, what was sort of some of your goals and values?
All right. So when we were 19 and 22, John had just started his business.
Yeah. Wow.
I was at uni studying psychology. We both had, I'd say a drive.
Mm-hmm.
We had started our lives and sort of made the first few steps of where we wanted to get and who we wanted to be. Mm-hmm. I found that obviously we were very mature already, being at that age and sort of already knowing where that next path was going. I can say we also, had a clear path in front of us. Yeah, we were young, but yeah, it's when we first met, I feel like we were definitely motivated. We're motivated little individuals,
Yeah, awesome.
young individuals.
Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so talking a little bit about John now too, how would you sort of describe who John really is when he's not in front of clients or in front of a camera?
Not in front of clients and a camera. I don't know if anyone would believe me, but he's a quite calm and he doesn't speak a lot.
Yeah, right.
Look, he loves being around the kids when he's not working. It's definitely a priority for him. If he can't make it to, let's say, one training session of soccer, he'll message me asking me, how it's going and if I can send him videos and photos. And he's such a calm person.
Yeah.
And he's really grounded, definitely.
Yeah, right, there you go. When you said quiet, I'd struggle to believe that.
I know it sounds crazy, but he's a very quiet person. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And has he sort of has he changed much from when you first met him in that sort of sense?
Yeah, no, definitely. He's changed a lot since I've met him. How? I'm just trying to think how in the sense of, I don't know, it's come, like I said, it's come with the calmness, learning that, he can switch on to that and switch off and really appreciating those quiet moments, I think, is really important where, he really enjoys just watching the kids, and being there, present, Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And obviously you guys have achieved so much, and from the outside people can see the success and the fulfilling life that you guys have built together. But what's a part of the journey people don't see?
I'd say the hard work. Not many people can see, John logging back on at 7:30 at night once he's logged off at, let's say, 6:30 to help me shower the kids and get them in bed. And, last night he was up till 11 o'clock at night and, the teamwork that's required, I'm up doing lunch boxes or I'm up, making sure things are flowing better for the next morning and he's up making sure that all his work is done for that day or he's prepared for the next day. And it doesn't mean just nights, it means weekends, and that way we know that while we're doing while we're in this teamwork together, if he needs to log on for a few hours through the weekend just to get a few things done or prepared, I understand, because our it never, like, not to say it never does end. You know, we've always got to be on, and that's what life is at the moment.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that's probably changed a fair bit as well too, since from, you know, when you didn't have kids to then having one to then having three.
Yes, it's definitely changed a lot. You know, each requires time, you know, and you go through those times in life where, you know, they're young and they need you more, and then they get older and they can do things a little bit more on their own. So, yeah, it's about that balance. Finding that balance is important.
Gotcha. And how has your life together influenced the way that John runs the business?
Our life together. Look, I am going to say teamwork, like I said before, because without him, my being a mum wouldn't flow the way it does, and without me, his life would be very different in regards to the business. We support each other exactly when we need to, I think, and we understand each other. Even if, you know, there's minimum talk, you know, I understand, you know, he's had a big day, you know, or he understands that I've had a big day, and we can, it's just about understanding and cooperating.
On the same wavelength.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect. On the same wavelength.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And just going back to you a little bit as well too, tell us a bit about who you are outside of being John's partner and what makes you fulfilled.
I'm a mum first. That comes absolutely first to me in my life. I love being a mum, and I feel so grateful to be able to be at home with them and really, really enjoy them. I've been able to, you know, have each of them home with me and take the time to really mold them into, you know, who they are and support them. I've been able to support them and watch them grow. And for me, I think that's one of the most amazing things in life. You know, yes, okay, I've had to put my career on the back burner, but I feel like it's been completely worth it. And I do not regret any, not even one moment of it. And I know that one day things will change and they'll all be at school, and then, you know, and then maybe I can say I'll have different things that fulfill me. But, you know, I get my time, you know, I get to do what I need to do in order to fill my cup outside of being a mum as well. So I think that also matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. And since becoming a mum, how have you sort of found your priorities or values shifted?
Well, it is all about them. When what we do every day, the daily grind has become about them. You know, building our little empire as humbly as possible has become about them. You know, whether, you know, John's working in order to, let's say, have those holidays so we could have time with them, or, you know, making sure that everything in the family is flowing, everyone's fed, and, you know, it's just, it's a task. It's a hard task, but it's the most rewarding task. Yeah,
absolutely. And I suppose not having kids myself, but I can imagine that's, you know, that's something that you hear quite often.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things that it sounds like you can sort of think about how it's going to be, but it's never, like, it's always more than what you expect it to be once it actually happens.
100%. And it's what you see as hard too. It's what you perceive as, you know, there's, you know, like people say to me, you know, is he sleeping through the night? I'm like, no. But I really enjoy seeing him through the night because I know he's growing so quickly.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's what you perceive as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I guess always trying to look on the bright side of it too, and just enjoying those moments.
100%. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you're currently focused, like you mentioned, on raising the 3 young boys. What does the next chapter look like for you?
For me, I don't know yet, JK. It's a good question. I'm not sure. I think I'm someone that sort of just rolls with it. I'm going to see where the next few years takes us when they start kinder and when they, you know, when they're all at school. And I think I'm just going to maybe figure out what I want then. See what's going to sort of fulfill my cup then. Yeah.
I'm sure we've got plenty of work.
I'm sure you do. John already's asked me. He's like, are you going to come in? I'm like, I'm not sure. We'll see.
That's it. We'll see how we go. And obviously, raising 3 young kids is no sort of easy job, especially while building a business. How do you manage that as a team, sort of, between you and John?
John's obviously sole focus, well, not sole focus, but being a major focus is the business, which I totally understand. when he's more in control, he feels much more at ease. He's that type of person as well, as much as he likes to step away and have his time with the family. If he feels like he's been in control of a certain situation more, he's much more calm.
Yep.
Teamwork, like you said, is obviously, again, I'm touching on the teamwork. If I can do more, it means that John can focus on the business more, and it obviously relieves what he has to think about when it comes to the kids. I mean, he does really enjoy doing after school activities. He loves being there with them, but like, you know, he can't sometimes, and that's okay. I mean, tonight I'm doing the taekwondo for both of them, and that's okay because he's got appointments. Look, teamwork means everything. Supporting each other when we need it most is key.
Yeah. Awesome. How have you both managed to find a balance between ambition and being present in your children's lives?
Yeah, okay. That's a good one. Ambition and being... Look,
And-
there needs to be a balance. I mean, that's why I do tell John, you know, it's amazing to be able to be where we're at. And I think that John has realised that those moments of spending time with the kids and, you know, going on those holidays and, you know, being fully present sometimes needs to happen and be prioritised over the ambition to keep going. He can be so ambitious that sometimes he'll forget to switch off, but he has become, or he understands better how to do that now. And because he yearns to be there, he can switch from ambition to balance really well and much better.
Yeah.
And that also has come with time and hard work too. You know, 5 years ago, there is no way he'd be able to take an afternoon off or a night off to be able to take the kids to swimming. Whereas now he can make sure he does that and is there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you sort of, like you mentioned about John, you know, liking to feel in control and all that sort of thing. And obviously hearing him talk a lot in sort of all his meetings and that sort of stuff too. One of the things he talks about is sort of just your mindsets being very different and how that's actually helped him sort of, you know, enjoy sort of the present more and then not so worry about the future because, you know, he's, you know, how he's always sort of worried about tomorrow.
Yes.
Have you sort of found that, I guess, trying to, you know, get that balance and how long did it take? And I'm assuming this is still kind of a work in progress as well.
I think it's always a work in progress, isn't it? I mean, look, when it comes to John's all about, yes, like you said, it's for tomorrow, it's for 10 years, it's for 15 years, which obviously it has to be. You have to think of the future, which he's taught me. I think the balance that he needed was we need to enjoy life as well now while we are young, while we are able to have the health to do so. And after having the few health scares that he had, I think that also really made him aware of the fact that time is precious and we need to focus on enjoying life now while we are healthy and young. And yes, okay, traveling with kids isn't, you know, a walk in the park and it's, you know, it can be difficult, but, you know, it's when we truly feel like we can be there enjoying those moments with them. Look, it takes time. It has taken time. You know, I understand him more and he understands me more and that we've learnt to balance that out. Yeah.
Awesome. And what are the core values you both try to instill in your children, not just through your words, but your actions?
Appreciation is a huge one in my values. I think that action appreciation, though, is even bigger. So things like, because we have to think, in this day and age, kids can have what they want, and a lot of them do get what they want. But as long as they appreciate what they have, and I'll always say this, you know, I feel like the kids do learn appreciation off us, just because the things that we can have or we can do, we are appreciative of them. You know, and John actually does this really well in the sense that delayed gratification also super important because they can't expect to have things right away. And as much as, you know, we've never said we can't afford something, but we've also said that things like, do we really need that now? Why do you think we need that now? And or can we wait till your birthday, which is not too far away, and maybe you might change your mind about it. But appreciation for what they do have then needs to be, always put first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And do you think sort of, especially now that, most of John's work that he does is at home, do you think the kids kind of see that and then kind of able to link that a little bit to that appreciation because they see the work that goes into sort of what they have as well?
100%. Yeah. They see him working hard. They see him, he's busy consistently, and seeing him busy and how much work he puts into us having what we do have in our life, they are much more aware of it.
Yeah.
Whereas if he was in the office, they wouldn't have seen all the hard work that goes into what he does.
It's kind of like, oh, dad's at work.
Dad's at work, whereas he's there, they can hear him, and they're aware of him being there, and, or they can hear him back on at 7:30 at night. Or like last night, I had an appointment at 8 o'clock at night, and they could hear him while they were going to bed. They could hear him working hard. Yeah.
Awesome. And lucky last,
Yeah.
if your kids were to listen to this episode in 20 years from now, what would you want them to remember or learn from your story?
I don't know. I think one thing I'd love them to think about, obviously, how hard we had worked for them and how mum and dad really focused on supporting each other and working as a team to get where we did, where we did or where we are. But also that I feel like I want them to know that I really did enjoy them. We really did enjoy them, and all the hard work we did was to enjoy them. And enjoy them now and enjoy them in 20 years and enjoy our grandchildren, everything we've done up until now has truly been to be able to be more present in life with them.
Yeah. Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for jumping on, Burcu.
Thank you for having me.
That's all right. Thanks everyone for listening. And as always, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.